Flosstube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Coleen and this is Lochabay, and this is Flosstube number 6. And today is Tuesday, February 9th. So we are almost halfway through February, which is crazy because it's already a short month and I already feel behind. But that being said, hope you had a great week. My week was pretty good. This weekend, our bulldog puppy is turning 1 on February 19th, but on Sunday, we had a couple of his best fur friends, Duke and Murph, came over to celebrate his birthday and have a little pup cake with them. So they got to play together and have some fun. And of course, the humans watched the Super Bowl, which I like. If I'm going to watch a sporting event, like the big culmination of a season, I like it to be like more close. So it's right down to the wire who's going to win at the last minute. So when you know who's going to win by halftime, it's kind of boring. But I didn't have a vested interest in either team, so it didn't really matter to me, I guess, who won, I suppose. So either way, but I did get quite a bit of stitching done this week and some framing. Not everything on my to-do list got touched this week, but that's life, so you just keep moving on. So I'll start this week with the finishes. So the first finish is from Lizzie Kate, the 2010 Snowman, but this is how it came out. And so if you can kind of see, the frame is kind of like stained and roughed up, and then it's speckled with some snowflakes. And then on top is the little carved, I'll get him over here where you can see him better, the carved cardinal. So he kind of echoes the little cardinal that sits on top of the snowman up there. So, and then it's also, I'll see if I can get it in the view here. The frame stands up, so it'll stand up on the tabletop like that. So just something a little different. So I'm super excited to have this one done. So it's been a couple weeks overdue, I think, but it's done. And then next, this one is a shout out to Calypso Joy. I think she commented on the last video that she liked how Mr. and Mrs. Blue Monster came out. So when I was shopping for a frame, I had something different in mind that I was gonna do. And then I saw this frame and I was like, we got to do this. This is perfect. So this is how it came out. So this is Mr. and Mrs. Blue Monster from Mosey and Me. So when I saw this frame and I was like, maybe that's like too much, but I'm like, if this was like the royal monster couple, this was the frame that they would go in. But what I did is I made a wood fillet to rest inside of the frame and painted it polka dot. So that kind of like makes it more whimsical and more, I guess, like Halloween-like. But I'm super excited how this one turned out. So I think I'm going to end up replacing the one right here behind me that hangs next to Come Sit a Spell. So I'm going to rearrange my Halloween pictures, and that one's going to go up there behind me for now. So super excited. So 2 finishes this week. Good for me. And I would have had a third, but I decided to stitch last night instead of pin and put together a frame. So this one will go out to Miss Marguerite for our in stages. So this one was from Sue Hillis, Noah and the Gang. And it was a frame that I originally found at Goodwill. And so when I was out in the garage though, I was like, it needs something else. So I took a black frame that I had laying around out there and cut it down and put it like on the inside, almost like a second frame inside of the frame, just to kind of add to, it needed something else. So this one, all I need to do now is just pin it out and assemble it. So for next week, that'll give me another finish to show. But that's part of in stages. And I have many other things in stages too, but that's the only one I'm going to show today. So as far as last week, I have some stitch finishes, and then some new starts, and then a little progress on a work in progress. But of course, all of my bags of floss that still need to be put away. This is only 2 of them. There's more. Here's a pile that I found inside something else. So I still need to organize floss. But I did print off a DMC checklist. I guess there's a sale coming up. I saw somebody posted on DMC floss. And I went to pull a floss for another project. And even in my backups, I was out of that color. So I really need to go through, because that's not right. If you don't have like 2 or 3 of every color, right? And so I do need to go through my floss and see where I'm lacking and what I need. Because I think I also need a few more overdyed flosses too for stuff coming up. So for finishes this week. So the first one I'm going to show is actually a finish from last week, but if you remember me saying Sammy knocked my buttons into the couch, and I ended up finding 3 of them, and I wasn't going to dig anymore. I'm sure they're in there. They'll probably come out like when we sell the couch, who knows. But what I did do is I went through my stash of, and when I say I have a stash of stuff, like it's like a mini Hobby Lobby in here, I swear. But I'm going to show you what I ended up doing with it. So I ended up using scrapbooking brads. So those come in like all shapes and sizes. Now I know some people are going to think that they would never put a brad through their material or or risk like ruining it, but you can actually slide them, especially in linen. You can slide them between the threads so it doesn't harm the fabric at all. But it's just an alternative to use as like another thing aside from like buttons. But I'll get a little closer and show you. So on this one, those are little flower shapes. And then on top was a little button. And then these are just like regular round salad brads. So on the back, like when they fold over, that's what they look like. And so on the inside of each flower, I dabbed it with a little white dot. So it looked more flower-like because they were just a solid color. But the cool thing about these is that like in the shapes, like if you don't like the color, you can always paint it. And then you can also spray them or dab them with some varnish to like keep the paint from coming off. But it's just another tool to use like to decorate your cross stitches. And I was going to use flower buttons, but it just didn't have the right look. But this ended up for me looking perfect because I wanted it to look more spring. So like I look at him and I think he's a spring snowman. So anyways, this was from Heart and Hand. I forgot to say it was Boom Boom. So because the idea that I want to frame him, I want him to be springy like. So that's what he came out like. So I'm super excited. So the next one is from Hands On Design, and it was the freebie that she put out for Valentine's Day. So super generous, and it's a really cute pattern. But this is how it came out. So it says Love You, and it's just so simple, but it's so sweet. And then underneath the hearts, I just stitched my husband's and I initials. And I'm not really sure how I'm going to frame this yet, but I do want to try and do something with it before Valentine's Day. And what's really awesome about this pattern is it only uses 2 colors of floss. But I'm pretty sure they got thrown in that bag, so they still need to be put away too. So, very generous, very cute freebie, and I'll post the link to her site. So if you would like to get it too, you can. And I'm sure probably you know about it already, but I'll do it anyway. And then the next finish that I had, so these are all counting towards my challenge of finishing 1 smaller type cross stitch a week, and I'm almost caught up. So with the starts that I had this week, if I can get them stitched by the end of the week, I should be caught up and fulfill my 1 a week. So Love You got snuck in there. So that wasn't actually on the list, but when I saw the freebie and saw how cute it was, I had to do it. So, but that's counting as 1. And then this week I finished Bent Creek's Made in the USA. And this was a zipper kit, but I swapped out the fabric because I didn't want it to be that big. So I already have an idea for him for finishing. And I think I want to find some super tiny star buttons to go down there. I'll have to look at just another button company to see how small they go, because I want them to be really tiny, but we'll see. And then this will probably end up in our end stages because I'm going to carve on his frame. It's going to be simpler, but it's a carving technique that I learned from watching this guy, and I'll share more about him later. He used to be a carver for Disney. Oh, he has the greatest style. But so that will be the inspiration for his frame. So those were my finishes for this week. So I was pretty happy with the progress that I made this week, so it wasn't too bad. Then for my works in progress, I'll share, this is the only one that I worked on this week, but I had to put some stitches in it. This is from Owl Forest, and it's the Russian alphabet New Year sampler. And I'll post the link below, but there I got Santa finally done. And then this is the top part of the pattern. So the top of the cross stitch like starts just above there, and then this is the top center page and the middle center page. So the middle's all done, and then this is where the bottom page starts. So it'll probably be like about that tall total. But I love looking at this. They have such pretty patterns. There's a couple more from them that I have my eye on, but alas, you know how that goes. But I was happy to be able to put a few more stitches in that to getting that done, and then eventually that will accompany the other one that I finished. I want them to hang together, so I'll buy custom frames so that they can match. So for new starts, so these will count towards my 1 a week challenge of finishing a cross stitch, but this one got snuck in. This one wasn't even on the list until I saw it like it was at the end of last week, after I taped the last time, and I'm like, oh, have to have it. But this is from Hands On Design, surprise, surprise. It's Hop On In, and then below it there's some carrots and some vines and stuff. But what I like, two things about this. So this is, I did on, it's Weigart 32 count, the gingham, but I dyed it with some gray dye. So it's a little bit, so it wasn't so creamy, distracting. And I almost wish I would have went a little darker, but I was afraid I would lose the checkers. So I'm fine with it. And what I like about this one, I ordered the buttons that go with it for Just Another Button Company. But theirs said hashtag HOP, but I'm going to do this for a gift, and it's going to spell out HOPP because that's the person's old maiden name. So it's kind of a play on words, so like hop, hop. So I was super excited when I saw that. I'm like, oh, I have to do it. So I also have a cute idea to frame that up too. So that will count towards, that got snuck into the 1 a week challenge. So that will help me fulfill and get me caught up. And then the next one that I started is from Bent Creek, and it's Smiling Back Jack. So actually I stitched on it at nighttime and then in the morning. So I got pretty far on this one. So this one should go pretty quick because the rest of it is just some words and stars. But I think I'm going to substitute some of the stars with buttons or some other kind of finding or whatever. And so I'll be excited to get that one to hang up with the other Halloween ones. So that was it as far as stitching and framing this week. And then, of course, you can't have a week without some stash enhancements. So in addition to the hands-on design, the Hop On In, I got a couple other things. So these came from the local needlework shop. They're from, surprise again, Hands On Design. But one of my bathrooms is done in nautical. So it's anchored down in O whale. And so my one bathroom has Amanda Lover seeds cut through Lighthouse and cut through Beach House framed in there. And I'll show those later. I'm going to do I'll do one filming 1 week of some of the finishes that I have in the house and how I have them framed. But I think the only thing I'm going to have to change, though, is that the colors in those are really bright colors. So I think I'm going to change out the wording and make them more bright red. But I think the rest will be fine with the other colors. And you know me and borders, that might lose that border. But I think they're just so cute, and they would be really cute to put on the shelf that's in the bathroom. So that's the plan for those at some point. And then I'm sure all of us have like those wish lists. I have a list of patterns that I'm looking for that are either out of print or just hard to find or whatever. So the first one that I found, so thank you to Peg for selling me out of her stash. This is Mosey and Me. It is St. Nicholas and the Gifts. So it's a Santa. And I'm still looking for, if anybody wants to part with theirs, number 192 and 193. They're both Santas. But eventually this is going to be my rotation. But I really love the ones that he does with his Santas. So I have a few other of his patterns in the stash, but those were just the ones in specific that are on my list. And the other one that I get to check off, and I was excited about this one, is from You and I and Friends. It's Horrible Hag. And it's a winch, but it's made into a pillow so you can hang it. So I so want to start this because I want it to hang over there over my Halloween finishes. But I was excited to finally find this. So that will probably work its way into the rotation much sooner than it should or supposed to be. And then finally, have you ever gone shopping out of your own stash? So when I lived in Hawaii, I must have bought this and not realized that I still had it. I was digging through looking for a floss to kit up something else, thinking maybe it was up there. And as I was going through one of my envelopes, I found this. I was like, oh, hey, look, I shopped out of my own stash. But it's from Shakespeare Peddler. It's Noah's Ark. And it's part of a series, but I probably won't stitch the whole series. I just wanted the Noah's Ark. But yeah, so I was excited. So, hey, I found a pattern that I didn't even know I had. I probably should do that more often. I'm sure if I go through some of these drawers, I find things that I had no recollection that I even owned. But other than that, This week, I am probably not going to get as much done as I want to because before Friday, I have to code 2 websites and I have to print and assemble a booklet. So I have a busy week. I'm going to give a little brag alert. I'm super excited for February 18th. I entered a couple of my designs into a competition and I won something. So I won't find out until the 18th what, but I'm super excited to find out what I won. So, and then later I'll share the projects that I created for those competitions. And what else do I have going on this week? Other than that, that's probably enough. I really don't need any more to do, but my brain's always turning for things to do and things to get done. So for Valentine's Day, so I will film again and I will post on Valentine's Day. So I'm going to do a little giveaway, just in the generosity of the spirit of Valentine's Day and giving. I'm going to give out 2, and I know it's not a lot, but I want to give out 2 $20 gift certificates to like a needlework shop of your choice. So it doesn't matter where, but the only thing you have to do to enter the giveaway is just comment below. And what I want you to comment is just what is your current work in progress. And I like that because I'm a very eclectic stitcher. So I stitch samplers, I stitch cute, I stitch whatever catches my fancy. And yeah, there's certain things that I like Noah's Ark, Halloween, Advent calendars. There's certain things, but sometimes I just see something, I'm like, I have to stitch that. And so I really like seeing what everybody's working on because sometimes, you know, like there's so many different genres of cross stitch and you don't always see it all and you're like, how did I miss that? So yeah, share in the comments below. All you have to do to enter is share below what is your current work in progress. So the title and the designer or why it caught your eye. It doesn't matter, whatever. And yeah, and so on Valentine's Day, I will randomly select, I'll let like a number thing do it, but out of however number entries, and you'll get a $20 gift certificate to a needlework shop of your choice. And that kind of stimulates your stash and stimulates the economy and helps out a local needlework shop. So yeah, so there'll be 2 winners, and it's open to anyone. And for international stitchers, if you don't have a needlework shop in the US that you shop from, I can always just PayPal you or whatever works best for you. So it's open to anybody. It doesn't matter where you live. So yeah, just for Valentine's Day and just for something fun to do. So that will be that. And then, yeah, so on Valentine's Day, I'm going to try and get that Love You made up from Hands On Design. And then hopefully by then I will have another couple of fun things to share with you too. So other than that, I hope that you have a great week. I will see you on Valentine's Day and happy stitching. Bye.